But if you're at this conference, you need to know that because Jesus Christ died and rose again, you do have the power to change things, and you don't just have to take it as it comes. There's power from heaven for you. Whether you feel like it or not today, you have the power to change. You have the power to change your marriage. You can change your outlook. You can change your perspective. You can change your diagnosis. Even if you're sick, you can change the way you look at that sickness and realize God has given me the power to believe in His healing. You can change the way you have relationships. You can change the way you treat the people you work with. You can change. You have the power to do so. And if you're here today, be reminded of this, that ultimately this all starts, if you really want to leave here and say, this is great, but is this just preaching rhetoric? Is this just Hillsong church hype and emotionalism? No, you have the power to change. Once you realize that the power for you is never really about you. It's about other people. As we get the band up here, we're going to pray quickly for people, and I'm going to hand it over to the bishop, the big eagle. Been in situations where I've realized God's power too late. And once you've been in a city like ours in New York, and you've seen people dying, and you've seen people who are hurting, you start realizing I don't have time to worry about my own identity with God any longer, because it's not about that. People need what we have desperately in this church. And Brian got up here last night and talked about November, Soulvember. That in this month coming up in Hillsong Church, it's going to be a month of soul winning. And that doesn't come down to good preaching. That's not about lights and music and church buildings. That's about every individual knowing I've got the power to tell people about Jesus. And as we deal with our own things that are going right or wrong in our lives, you know what? It's secondary to saying God has given me the power, the same power that raised Jesus from the dead is in me to help other people find Him. That is all that matters. That is why this conference is happening, to remind us Christians that we have one job on this planet. And that's to help people find Jesus. And I'm sitting here thinking of the story that changed my life a long time ago at Hillsong College. And I see the TC guys back there. How y'all doing back there? You guys are the best. I sat next to a buddy of mine who was in Teen Challenge. It changed my life. I think about it every time I come back to this campus. And we sat there at Hillsong Conference. People were worshiping, thousands of people. And it was a great moment. I looked over at my friend, and he was sobbing, crying, and I just, was wondering what was going on with him. And he previously told me his story. He was a drug addict at 14, sexually abused, spun him out by 18. He was almost dead, and God saved him. TC helped him get back on his feet. God bless that program. But he looked at me and he just said, "So why are you crying?" He said, "Carl, I just wish somebody would have told me sooner. I just wish somebody would have told me sooner. All these Christians in here have known about this. Nobody ever told me. Nobody ever invited me to church. Nobody ever told me about this God. I wish somebody would have told me sooner." I remember leaving that thing going, God, I don't know, I can't do everything, but I can be that somebody who lays my life down. Even if someone has to walk over my face to get to you, I've got to do everything in my power because you've given me your power to let people know that there is a God. His name is Jesus, and He can change your life forever. You believe it? Come on, stand to your feet right now. And when you stand, give God a shout of praise.